Introductory hook. Did you know that one of the longest-lasting republics in history fell in a single day? The serene Republic of Venice, standing tall for over 1,100 years, came crashing down on May 12, 1797. Most people have never considered how its end reshaped Europe, but by the time this video is done, I promise you'll see the Venetian Republic in a completely new light. Let's dive into its untold story. Scene 1. Setting the stage. Picture this. It is the late 18th century, and Venice, the shimmering jewel of the Mediterranean, is a shadow of its former self. Once a maritime empire, commanding naval power and monopolizing trade routes between Europe and the Middle East, its golden age has long passed. The Serenissima is no longer a bustling nexus of global trade. Instead, it's a city dying from obscurity, living off fading glories and a fragile neutrality policy. Meanwhile, the world around Venice is anything but peaceful. The French Revolution is destabilizing the European political landscape, and a young general named Napoleon Bonaparte is rapidly making a name for himself as an unstoppable force. Napoleon's campaigns spread like wildfire, dragging all of Europe into chaos. For Venice, nestled between Austria's Habsburg Empire and revolutionary France, maintaining independence amid the crossfire looked increasingly impossible. Venetian leaders, slow to modernize or militarize, chose diplomacy over war. They relied on their neutrality to navigate the sharks circling their waters, France on one side, Austria on the other. But diplomacy, as they were about to learn, is no match for the ambitions of an empire builder. Scene 2. The turning point. The year is 1797. Napoleon marches his French troops across northern Italy and secures one victory after another, demonstrating his unmatched strategic genius. Venice, though neutral on paper, finds itself accused of allowing Austrian troops to rest on its land during Napoleon's devastating campaigns. Napoleon, of course, cannot tolerate anything less than absolute submission. Framed in his mind as complicit against his plans, he turns his eyes toward Venice. The Venetian political elite attempts a last-minute display of strength by bolstering its military, but their efforts are far too late. Weakened and unprepared, they face Napoleon with no viable defense. On May 3, 1797, French forces approach Venice. Knowing resistance is futile, the Venetian Senate enters dire negotiations with Napoleon's representatives. The leader of Venice at the time, Ludovico Manin, pleads for the city's independence. Napoleon's response is unequivocal. Venice has betrayed its neutrality. Unwilling to risk open conflict with France's superior military, Venice is compelled to surrender without a single shot fired. And so, on May 12, 1797, the Venetian Republic formally dissolves. Ludovico Manin, the last Doge of Venice, is stripped of his ducal cap, tears streaming down his face. The ceremonial end of Venice is both tragic and anticlimactic. Over 1,000 years of sovereignty crumble to the mere threat of Napoleon's wrath. Scene 3. Immediate consequences. In the days following the surrender, the repercussions hit hard. French forces not only seize Venice but plunder its riches. Priceless art, including the legendary bronze horses of St. Mark's Basilica, are sent to Paris as war booty. Venice is partitioned, its territories absorbed into Napoleon's puppet states, and later taken over by Austria through secret agreements in the Treaty of Campo Formio. The citizens of Venice are left in shock. Gone are the Doges and the Venetian Republic's unique system of governance. The once proud naval force, a force that once controlled the Mediterranean seas, is dismantled. To add insult to injury, Venice does not even receive the dignity of being a free French territory. Instead, it is handed to Austria as part of Napoleon's temporary ceasefire with the Habsburg Empire. Venice becomes nothing more than a bargaining chip. Scene 4. Long-term legacy. But history doesn't just pause there. The fall of the Venetian Republic signals more than just the end of a city-state. It's a turning point with profound ripple effects. Firstly, it underscores Napoleon's rise as a transformative force in Europe. His ability to dismantle a millennia-old state without even launching an attack demonstrates his strategic brilliance and foreshadows the upheaval he brings to old European orders, from Spain to Prussia. Secondly, the symbolic collapse of Venice inspires other independence movements. The Italian unification movements of the 19th century, which would ultimately lead to the creation of modern-day Italy in 1861, find one of their earliest inspirations in this chapter. Venice, once viewed as eternal, becomes evidence that even the strongest regimes can fall, and that new nations can rise. Culturally, the fall triggers the dispersion of Venetian art and knowledge. Napoleon's plundering sends Venetian treasures across Europe, influencing artistic and architectural styles far beyond the city's lagoon. Philosophically, Venice's decline shifts intellectual discourse in Europe. Scholars and political analysts treat Venice as a cautionary tale of how clinging to outdated systems can spell a slow but certain death in the face of geopolitical transformations. Finally, we cannot overlook the emotional element of Venice's legacy. Its fall is seen as the end of an era. The Renaissance city-state, a uniquely Italian invention, is no more. How many people's lives were upended as the government they had known for generations simply ceased to exist? How many Venetians felt adrift as they saw their identity as independent citizens vanish overnight? Scene 5. Modern Reflections. Today, we view the Venetian Republic as a case study in resilience and in complacency. Its mighty past as a maritime superpower holds lessons about innovation and adaptability. The Venetian Republic thrived for centuries because it dominated trade, engineering incredible ship designs, and forming shrewd diplomatic alliances. But even the most powerful regime collapses when it fails to evolve. The Venetian government rejected modern nation-state reforms, retained inefficient bureaucratic systems, and underestimated the speed at which warfare and politics could change. Essentially, it became a museum of itself, while the rest of the world innovated. As modern viewers, we might ask, is this pattern repeating today? Powerful nations and organizations may find themselves facing similar crossroads. What happens when those systems fail to adapt? Do they risk becoming relics like Venice, a timeless example of both glory and fallibility? Conclusion. So there you have it. The day the Venetian Republic fell, an event that speaks volumes about the fragility of even the greatest powers. The fall of a city can mark the rise of an empire, and even 1,100 years of history can dissolve in an instant. But even from its ashes, inspiration endures. Today, Venice remains not just a city of canals, but a testament to human ingenuity, and also a persistent warning. What do you think? What can modern nations learn from Venice's rise and fall? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through history. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, it's only by understanding the past that we can navigate the future. See you in the next episode of History.